Looks like you've been added to the close friends list. Welcome to the new and improved Close Friends List podcast, your weekly dose of laughs, gossip, and really whatever pops into our mind. As you know, the close friends list is always changing and always evolving, so make sure you stay a part of ours. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts and on social media at Close Friends List Pod. We're so excited to have you as a close friend. Now, on to the episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Close Friends List. Today we have a
Very special guest.
a topic that's near and dear to our hearts. No, I'm kidding. If you have listened to us, that's a callback. But today we do have, another brand new fresh episode coming to you hot on these Close Friends lists. Anyway, before we jump in, we should start with how everybody's week went. What have you guys been up to? What have you been doing?
Well, this week has been pretty okay. I went to a Sarah Bareilles concert. Life changed. I was giving, I have always been like a casual Sarah Bareilles fan. I know her hits. I've heard, songs here and there. But something about seeing her live, I was like, that woman is a performer. We love this white woman. She's not problematic. She is just giving, and her vocals were giving. It was at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just like a moment. And then Renee Goldsberry, who was on Broadway, opened for her, and I adore Renee. And so I got to see that. She is famously known for playing Angelica in Hamilton. And so I got to hear her sing Satisfied, with this whole band that she had. And I was like, this is amazing. So that was the highlight of my week, I feel like. But other than that, I've just been working. I finished a book series. I'll talk about that later. And yeah, so it's been pretty okay week.
The Sarah Bareilles, did you plan on going, or did you just happen to stumble upon a ticket?
Yeah,
or
I haven't heard of her in a while.
I know, exactly.
My friend Tona, she texted me, and on Friday, the concert was Saturday. She was like, "Okay, so I found these cheap Sarah Bareilles tickets. Do you want to go?" And I was like, and she was like, "And Renee is opening for her." And I was like, okay, yeah,
sure.
You know what? Why not? I'll go.
Yeah.
And so she packed us a little picnic dinner, and then I brought a cooler full of High Noons, and we just had a good time.
That sounds fun.
So yeah, it was a chill fun time. But no, I did not plan on going to it until Friday afternoon. But
just the way you opened with
you
it
weren't
seemed
expecting.
a little So.
I wasn't expecting. So yeah,
that's so fun.
I love that.
What have you been up to, Adia?
My kid turned 3 this week. That was wild.
Big week.
Yeah, he headbutted me in the face, told me to shut up, and slapped my arm away. So yeah, he's fully a three-nager now, so that's fun.
Yeah.
No, he had a really great birthday. We went to this monster truck museum that's in Currituck, North Carolina, which is an hour away. And me and Scott took our kids. So it was 3 kids for an hour drive. And
under the age of 10.
Under the age of 10. And they all had iPads, but yet there was still an issue with
crazy.
Someone's iPad's too loud.
It was a lot. It was a lot going on. And that really put a lot of things into perspective for me personally in terms of childbearing ever again. So I would be totally okay if that never happened again. Be fully content, because the thought of having a newborn in the car with that would have been my 13th reason, easily. So but no, it was a great time. The kids loved it. It was really fun. Rode a monster truck, saw a bunch of
That's what I was gonna ask if you got to, because I know they have the whole setup. So
yeah, it was a fun time. It was good. The kids loved it. The food was fun. It was a nice little atmosphere. We went to a little farmer's market after and got some peaches. But Yeah, it was a good time. Probably wouldn't do it again. With
It's a one and done.
but
thing.
exactly, yeah, it was
Yeah.
a one and done thing. So that was cool. And then, gosh, what else happened this week? That was like really the
I
highlight.
feel like his B-Day just like took up most of your week.
Well, yeah,
It
because there was
was-
the party, and then
yeah.
his birthday
Yeah.
was actually
It was
this
his party
week.
Saturday.
Yeah.
The girls had their birthday
Yeah.
party on Sunday, and then his
Were they
birthday
born
on
on the
Tuesday.
same day? Or is
So
that
they were
CMO?
born like a
Or, like-
couple of days
okay,
apart, like
okay.
a year, but like a year apart. So they had a joint party, and
Okay.
that was a lot too. So
It's a big weekend.
it was a
for
big weekend.
2 kids' parties, and then also the
An actual birthday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we have 2 more kids' parties this Saturday.
Yikes!
Yeah,
You're
so
booked and busy.
we are booked. You know, listen, when you become, you know, you got lots of kids. It's like you have things to do every weekend now. You know, they're busy kids.
Yeah, I mean,
so-
you want them to be social, so it's good
Exactly.
that they're being
Yeah.
invited to parties and whatnot.
Yeah, but
so.
I have to say, like, I think Phoenix thought the birthday vibes, because they had been going on for
Right.
so long, like for like
Yeah.
4 or 5 days, that he thought that this was like an everyday thing, and
Oh, no.
it
Yeah.
really got to like his head of like thinking that like the world is his oyster, and
Very
that's,
Leo of him. Let's
yeah,
put-
like
yeah.
he was
Honestly.
really showing out this week for sure. So I really had to humble him to let
A
him know, like,
3-year-old, yeah.
listen, like, this is not like your life.
You're not opening gifts
You're
every
not-
day.
no,
we're-
no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the time.
Yeah.
That was the time. That's probably why I got headbutted, honestly. But
yeah.
yeah,
He's like, fuck this.
No more
Li-
gifts.
Literally,
Like, what do you mean?
literally. So
Oh, man.
yeah,
That's crazy.
boy, woo. But it was good. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
Not
fair
bad.
enough. I feel like I have been kind of a little busy, I guess, like, because went to Phoenix's party, had a
you
good
did.
time.
You and Scott had a blast.
Oh, yeah,
it
we were
looked like.
vibing.
Yeah.
My highlight was that I beat Galaga, like the high score on the whole game.
Which
so
was
I got to put my
insane.
initials in. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, my mom was. I told her about it. I was like, "How fun is that?" And she was like, "Yeah, beat all those little kids." I'm like, first of all, this is not.
Excuse me.
Yes, we went to a kid's party, but not all the games
No.
are just kids.
No.
Anyway, and then we went to a baseball game on
Oh,
whatever day it
yeah.
was, Tuesday
yeah.
or something, which is like not a norm. Also, I feel like you. I'm like, we'll get to this, but baseball is just not hockey.
No,
like,
it's
and we
not.
know,
Ugh.
we know it's not. But like being
It's-
there, it really was not the vibe. Like
No.
it was fine. We were out and about. 50-cent hot dogs.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50-cent glizzies, 50-cent popcorn.
Yeah.
It was a vibe in that regard, but.
But then what do you do during the game?
Well,
It's like,
exactly. I'm bored. We were there for 2 hours and we left at the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah.
That's only halfway through the game.
yeah,
Like,
that's insane.
I feel like also like half of being at a baseball game is like drinking a beer or
Yeah.
something, and like you don't drink, so it's like
me and my
what's there to
Diet
do?
Pepsi.
yeah, you can only have so many, you know.
Right, exactly. We got some Dippin' Dots, but like,
Can
okay.
barely see. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But it was fun because Pusha T threw the first pitch, which we just have to mention because I just feel like at any given moment, I am like 1 degree of separation away from this man.
At all times.
Literally all
Yes.
times.
Yes.
So like I'm on Instagram, like, oh, going to the game on Tuesday, they post that he's throwing the first pitch. I'm like, what are the odds that the one baseball game I'm going to this season, he's throwing the
Yeah.
first pitch? Like 1 in at least 36, because that's how roughly I'm sure how many games there are.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are the freaking odds?
Eventually, it's going to
yeah.
have to be 0 degrees.
Well,
Like,
exactly. We're just counting down, and then I got word
one
that
day you're gonna bump into him in this elevator, like where you
yeah,
guys are.
exactly,
So-
for sure, for sure. And then after that, I get word that he's in this room the next day.
Yeah.
Like I'm less than 24 hours away from being in the same spot. Like it's, I don't know.
sat on his couch.
It's coming.
I know. It kind of puts it in perspective. Like, how is this happening with other actual strangers? Like, am I just missing people? You know what I mean? Like, it's just different because he's famous. But that man, he's like haunting our podcast. I
It's
feel like
just
I don't
truly,
know,
like-
or maybe
Come on
just
our pod,
me.
Pusha T.
Please
Yeah.
hop on. I've asked Mike, like, if he could slide us in. Mike is my friend that
Yeah.
does, like, content for him and stuff. I'm
We'll
like,
plug whatever he wants. You know what I
That's
mean?
what
Like,
I'm
like,
saying.
I don't
he
care.
needs us, if you think about it. Like, he needs our
I
exposure.
don't know about that, but but I would just love
That'd be
to
so funny.
pick his brain.
me
I just
too.
like I don't know. I feel like he's an interesting guy. And now he's just vibing, like running around Virginia Beach, Norfolk, like
literally
doing whatever
the
he
things.
wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there was something else, but before I got here, we had to go help Devin fix her car. Her battery corroded. So we were there for
Damn, Devin.
another 2 hours. Like, what's the vibe this week with like being places for a long time? But I told her I was going to talk about it because I was like, girl, I could have been doing so many other things. I'm sitting here in this
taking up
parking
2 hours of
lot.
my time.
I
Like,
know.
Damn.
But I don't know. Nothing too crazy. Just out and about more than usual. Usually I'm just on my couch,
Honestly.
you know. But
One other highlight: the Scots met this week.
oh yeah,
Which was
yeah.
a great time.
Yeah, semi unprompted because both of us were doing other things and they introduced
Yeah,
themselves to
which
each
was
other.
so weird. Like,
Yeah.
it must have been the twin telepathy or something where they were
Although
just
I will say, my Scott did know your Scott because when we drove up, he was walking and I was like, "That's Adia's Scott." So my Scott knew. So I guess he went out. I don't know.
dang.
But
So
it wasn't a complete like happenstance on my Scott's end.
Yeah,
but like
it was. Yeah, for my Scott knows you're Scott because
Right,
I'm like
right.
you're not the OG Scott.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
you just
It's
know
like-
your place, like where it
Although
is.
he's working his way up the ranks because today he gave us a cord.
He got that cord, so he's already-
your
He's-
Scott.
yeah, he's doing a pretty decent job.
At Circus Social they have like a car driving game or whatever, and I raced Scott and I won.
Ooh,
So
you won?
I won. I mean by like
There we go.
0.04
But
seconds,
still.
but I still came in first
You
on the.
won.
As a car
Yeah.
guy, he should be
That's what I
embarrassed.
said, and then I Fast and Furious quoted him. I said, "Doesn't matter what kind of car you have under the hood. It matters who the driver is." Dom
There you
Toretto.
go.
We love to
He
hear
said that in like multiple movies. Anyway,
Damn.
yeah, I'm almost
You were
caught up
pretty
on those.
solid at Circuit Social, it sounds like. You were,
Yeah, I was living my
were
life.
putting in work, yeah.
yeah, playing pinball and shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I
Guitar
have to
Hero,
say,
not for me. But
speaking of someone putting in work at Circuit Social, Phoenix's dad
yeah,
is a big DDR fan. He
You know-
lived in
Oh.
Japan for a bit.
I saw him
So,
over there.
He was
but
there for a while.
Okay,
he was there
okay,
for
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
while. So we had game cards,
right,
and he took like 2. And like these game cards
and you
have.
just never saw him again.
I didn't
Yeah.
see him for like a good 30 minutes, and I like find him in the
funny.
corner doing DDR, and he doesn't do easy mode. He does like the
Yeah.
sweating,
Of
like
course.
holding on to the thing.
They
And
should
I'm
really not have that just in the corner.
no,
because
like it needs to be front and center.
yeah, we need to know.
We got to see the type of people that are doing this. But
sure.
he was sweaty. And I'm like, hey, we're about to cut the cake soon. He's like, I'm almost done with
He's
this
like,
level.
I'm busy.
And I'm like, it is your son's birthday party. Like, why are you,
You have
playing?
to be there.
Like, you have to be there. Like, why are you playing DDR? Like, I think that's the only reason he
Yeah.
like, came.
It's so
That's
funny how
so
like
funny.
invested you can get without there being like I didn't get any tickets for beating everybody
No.
at Galaga, but like here I am bragging about it, and like same for him. It's like you're not getting tickets for winning DDR,
No.
but like you just like it's
It was
pride.
It's the inside that matters.
It's all
so
about the
funny.
inside. That's so true.
Gosh,
Man,
what a time.
you really picked a good place. We had
I did,
everybody's having a
listen.
blast apparently. You know,
It was a good time, I have to say. I was no complaints. Anyway, great week. This week
Yeah.
sounds like for
for
across
most
the board.
of us. Yeah.
I thought you had a question for us.
Oh,
Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't read. I got to squint.
Oh, it is up
I guess.
there.
So
Okay.
I have a question this week that I saw online, and I also asked today, like in a lunch like icebreaker.
Oh, you're bringing out the work questions for us. Okay.
Oh, well, it's not,
okay.
I don't think it was probably work appropriate, but like it was just quiet, like
know,
at the
that checks
lunch.
out.
So I was like,
That's
I'm just
so
gonna
funny.
ask it and just see where it goes. So the question, I don't know like the best way to phrase it, but like essentially, you know, like the sacrament, it's like the body of Christ, and then it's like the bread.
The blood of Christ.
blood
Yeah, yeah.
Is
I've
the
been there.
grape juice, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
the body is like the wafer. So essentially, it's like what would be your sacrament? Like what would be
Okay.
your blood in your body?
I have
like
seen this.
sacrament.
This is so chaotic.
It was, and I started the conversation like, so I have an icebreaker, everyone.
Yeah, so this is definitely not a work appropriate
no,
situation.
it was like my
No.
CEO. It was like basically it was like 12
You're about
people.
to get a Teams message tomorrow that's like, so
Yeah,
Adia,
they're
we
like,
need to talk about
"Hey,
boundaries.
No, literally, it was. I mean, everyone answered, so I'll say that. Like, it was a great icebreaker. So, like,
Right.
there's that.
We
But
love.
the way that I started it off, I could have started a better way. I said, "So, imagine you're Jesus."
Right.
So I was
okay.
already wrong off the bat. And then I'm like, okay, not everyone is a Christian here. Some people are Christians, so let me make sure I say it the right way. And I'm like, okay, there's the blood in the body. And then people are like, where are you going with this?
They're like, are you converting us right now?
I was like, okay, hold on. Imagine that there's a church for you. And when people come up to do, like, it was just really bad.
Oh my God.
So the way I'm going to ask it now is, what would be your sacrament? What would be your blood in your body? Your grape juice and your wafer. What would those two things be to describe you? Like, what would they be?
Right. I have seen this question go around recently, so I've had a little bit of time to think on a little bit. Although jury's still out on what my blood would be. I think I have an idea we can discuss. I know for a fact my body is popcorn.
I knew you were gonna say that.
100%.
I should have just polled the audience on that one. I feel like
100%.
at this point I'm eating it every day. This is
Not every day.
no, okay, guys. Like, I bought an 8-pound box of kernels because, like, I'm making it at home.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so
Kernels.
so
like
popcorn.
raw popcorn.
Yeah. Pop it in the microwave, 2 minutes, baby. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
What's your
So-
technique?
on demand.
Butter, like salt.
Yeah, butter and salt. Scott did just buy. He said it's the stuff that seasons AMC popcorn. It's coming in the mail today. So TBD on that.
Interesting.
We'd love to
Okay,
a
give us an
review of
update
that.
next week.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, popcorn for sure.
Yeah.
I had 4 at the Tides game. Got 5, one on the way home to eat on the light rail. Because there was no light. Yeah, why not? Exactly.
50 cents. I mean.
Popcorn for sure. Drink the blood. I feel like there could be a variety of things. The top of my noggin feels like a Celsius. You know?
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. I
Mine
don't-
is a Celsius.
probably
for
not
sure.
great, but
So when people come up, here's the Celsius, here's the
Here's your
popcorn.
Here's the
literally my everyday lunch. Thank you so much.
No,
Should
for
be a
real,
kernel
like-
of popcorn, like a Celsius.
Oh my god, that's actually kind of triggering. Like thinking about just one piece of popcorn as my sacrament. That's
And a sip of Celsius.
yeah, that's kind of
Or
fucked
would it
up.
be like a little cup of popcorn? Like I don't know.
Yeah, like a little Dixie cup.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Could you
God.
imagine?
I know.
Oh man.
That's crazy.
Okay, Aaron, what's yours?
I think definitely for my drink, I think it'll be tea. Like I drink tea nonstop, and
Yeah.
it has to be like a hot tea,
Yeah.
probably green or
Okay.
jasmine, either one. And then my bread. Let's see. What I eat the most and talk about probably on the daily to my roommates, a breakfast sandwich. So like
Ooh,
Which
a
one?
whole Sammy.
A whole Sammy that
I mean,
people are
why
getting?
not? Like
I mean, it's
I would
your
go to
body.
that church. I would go to that
Fourths or
church.
we can cut it into fourths or something, but I'm like,
Yeah,
a breakfast
yeah.
sandwich. It has to
What's
be.
on the
Yeah,
sandwich?
do you make it or is it like a
I-
frozen?
No, I fully just buy them.
Okay.
I do a sausage and egg on a biscuit. Keep
Yum.
it classic. But I do love just like an everything bagel with like other things on it.
And that
But
goes really
sausage
well
and
with
egg
your
on
tea.
a biscuit.
Yeah.
It is. So
Yeah.
That's a good
breakfast
time.
sacrament, I guess.
That's a good time.
The
Yeah.
hot tea scalding people in the
That's
front
a-
pew, but you know,
Yeah.
don't worry
Yeah.
about
and then
it.
the hot breakfast sandwich.
We'll have to
holding
work
people as
through
well,
that.
so.
We'll definitely work through that on Sunday for
it can
sure.
be workshopped
Yeah.
for sure.
Gosh. Okay. So mine's definitely Celsius for sure. And then my body is going to be Nutter Butters or a honey, bun.
Yeah. I thought you were
just-
going to say honey bun first.
It was Nutter Butters or I couldn't decide because it flip flops. But yeah, for sure Nutter Butter. I think at least one would be like really nice.
Well, yeah, and easy packageable.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
super
yeah.
nice. But then the honey bun is really like,
Yeah, are we cutting that? Like, what's the vibe?
yeah,
Like,
it could get messy there.
No,
and
everyone just gets a full
a
hand. I don't
huge,
know what you're talking
and you have to finish the whole thing. Like that's
At
the
the
thing.
altar.
Yeah, like
And
you
they're like-
can't just take a little bite of the wafer. You know, like you take the whole thing. So it's like you take a whole
You're right.
breakfast sandwich, you take a whole honey bun, like you take a whole
And a piece of
and,
popcorn.
and one kernel of popcorn to top it
Mine's
off.
looking a little better now. Now
Yeah.
it's looking a little more realistic.
Not
Yeah.
too bad, not too bad. But yeah, that's
so funny.
yeah. I like hearing people's answer for that because it really makes you think like, oh, that's totally you, like
Yeah.
100%. So
Yeah.
I can see that.
I love that. Yeah.
Good choices,
I think
guys.
the only one I wouldn't have guessed is like your breakfast Sammy Aaron.
Yeah,
like,
me
I
either.
just like
didn't
could
see that
not
coming.
think of anything. I was like, what do I eat most often? Breakfast sandwiches. So
It's a good one.
But the tea,
or like a
100%.
shrimp chip, but
For
like
sure.
that's,
I was gonna say shrimp chip. Yeah, yeah.
I love a shrimp chip. So
I feel
Man.
like that would be fun. Like them holding it up at the whole bag at the altar.
da da da.
Yeah.
Like
Oh man.
All right. Well, great question.
Talk about
Thanks, guys.
sacrilege.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't
It was a great question. Good job, Adia.
totally work
it's a
appropriate.
great question to me. Thank you.
Thanks to me for coming up with that.
Amazing question, everyone. I'm glad we got the backstory with the work situation
Yeah.
too, because I feel like
I
that
have
adds
to.
like
Yeah, one of the interns who I'm 90% sure this kid is not 21. He was like, yeah, I think a shot of whiskey.
Oh my God.
And
Oh.
he said like some random ass food or something. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I feel like if you're picking alcohol as your blood, like that should be a red flag.
oh, for sure.
like no offense to that
That's-
man, but
At first he said lemonade and like something normal. And then he's
Right.
like, well, shot of whiskey. I'm like, hold on. I'm 90% sure you're not 21. Like,
yeah.
okay, moving into our segment
Yeah.
today in all caps.
Yep. Officially this time.
Yes, officially. Also, I love that this is just a complete copy and paste of what I said, like my stream of
what else?
consciousness.
Like-
I said like 3 texts, like just stream of consciousness here, like not even like
And I said perfect copy paste. Like,
consolidating, summarizing, like none of that.
no.
Clocking in multiple days a week. Sometimes you just copy and paste things. You know what I
Exactly,
mean? It's
yeah.
like I got
get-
too much else.
Now I know. Moving forward, I'll make sure that it's like a clear, like
Direction.
direct, like
Yeah.
idea. If it's going to be copy and pasted for sure, because I was just spewing stuff at that time. Okay, so today, since we're all 30 now, it's a great time to reflect on the past decade of our lives, our 20s. How were your 20s? Were your 20s okay, before you were 20, your idea of your 20s,
Yeah.
and now after being out of your 20s?
I see. I mean, generally, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like I think I did most of the thing. Like before I was 20, I guess I was like, oh, like this is what I want to do in my 20s, and I think I did most of those things.
Like
in
what?
The span of 10 years. Well, like I guess like graduate college,
Yeah.
like buy a car, like move to LA. So
You did.
know,
Yeah.
You did that.
I did all those things, got a job. So like I guess they were fine.
Is there anything that you wanted to do but didn't?
No, I feel like, I mean, like back in the day, like when I was in high school, I was like, I'm gonna get married in my 20s, and now I'm like, who was I, a child bride? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But so I think Erin from like her teens would have thought she would have been like married or something, but Erin now is fine with not being married.
Right.
because-
Yeah.
Right. You still did a lot and did what you wanted. and-
Exactly.
Exactly.
yeah. Got to where you wanted to be.
I don't think I did enough. Like in my
Oh, yeah?
20s, like my early 20s, I think I was like, I mean, I had a purity ring until I was 21. So let's start there.
Yeah.
So starting off
Yeah.
strong with the 20s
Sorry,
already.
I can't not laugh. Like I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Don't laugh at me.
Brothers.
Yeah. So, it wasn't
I
starting
mean, not
strong.
that is like the be all end all of like,
No, but I
20s
think
or
it's like
whatever, but-
believing in
Okay, yeah,
a
yeah,
purity
yeah.
ring
Right.
at 21 is like
see.
abstinence is great,
Right.
I think it was just actually
Everything else.
believing in that
Yeah.
as like an actual
Everything else that comes with the purity ring.
ideology. I think
Yeah.
that was the issue there. Yeah, because it was solely for the Jonas Brothers. Like there
Yeah.
was not like a
For sure.
Yeah, so yeah, that was rough. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think in the college days, like I didn't go out much. Like I didn't drink. Like I didn't do any of like the typical 20 stuff. And then I got married, and then I had a kid, and
Yeah, 'cause
like
how old were you when you got married? Were you 25 or 26?
I think I was 25.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
mid-20s.
Yeah,
But yeah.
mid-20s. Like, and then I did all the things they say you're supposed to do: go to school, do all
Yeah.
that. Like, I feel like I checked all the boxes in my 20s. And then I was like, okay, well, now what? Like, I did what y'all told me to
Seriously.
do. Like, now I don't know, like, where to go, like in my 30s, I guess, because like I'm not in school anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not married anymore. I mean, I have a kid, but like you already did that, you know, like it's, I don't know. So yeah, I think 20s weren't bad, but they weren't like the crazy wild, like,
It wasn't giving friends.
no,
like,
it wasn't
yeah.
like, yeah, like this crazy, amazing, like huge thing. But I think younger me would think that like 20s me was like the shit for sure.
Yeah,
like,
right. Like did the things that you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, graduating, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Like
Yeah.
looking back on like old Tumblr posts of like being 15 and 16 and be like, I can't wait till I move out and do all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I did do that. Like that's cool. That's cool. I moved to Portland, like, you know, I traveled a little bit, like I went to Hawaii a bunch. Like I did like the stuff that I always wanted to do, and then yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as like wow as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Like I thought it'd
Yeah.
be more like
I feel
I
like
think they
that's-
always just like
Yeah.
they always just like hype it up and
think
like
so,
they're like,
too.
oh, you're 20s, and
Yeah.
then you're like, you get there and you're like, this is just normal life.
Yeah.
Actually, like,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
trying to get by and we're trying to like have fun while doing it, but it's like it's just normal life. It's not like supposed to be a movie, you know?
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, that's
That's
what I was
true.
gonna say. I feel like 20s is really overhyped. Like, not that I had a bad 20s or anything, but just like
Yeah.
when you think like in high school, the 20s are everything. Like you need to do all
Yeah.
like I don't even know like be out and about and all this stuff. But it's like I mean, you can do that, but then yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't really. It's not like the pinnacle of life
No.
necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like you're so early, you're so young still. Like
Yeah.
you have so much life to live. Like we don't. It doesn't need to all happen in our 20s.
Exactly.
Like,
That's a good thing. Yeah, I think that's what I was like trying to rush to do everything before I was 30, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm 30. I did it all. Now what? Like,
Got to make some new goals.
Yeah,
I guess.
I didn't think I'd
Honestly.
make it this far. Like I didn't expect to do all these
think we
things. You
made
know,
it
like
far.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like nobody talks about your 30s except for like, oh, you're 30.
Yeah,
like,
it's the end
you
of the
know, yeah,
world,
like
yeah.
nobody ever talks about like I don't know career changes or like buying a house when you're 30 or like I don't know. I just feel like they society says everything's like your 20s and then they just kind of leave like 30 and up is like down,
old and
over the hill.
decrepit,
Like
yeah.
yeah.
And then they're like, "Here's retirement age," and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Well-
wait, but what about the in between? Like,
Yeah.
what am I
what's
doing
happening?
for the next 30 years though? Like
Exactly.
that's insane.
No, literally.
That's
I want to
insane.
retire right now, though. So, like, what's happening?
I mean,
Truly.
don't we all?
What was your favorite year of your 20s? Like, what was your favorite age? Oh,
I
I
have
was going to
no
say
idea.
29.
29.
Yeah, 'cause-
okay.
oh,
It felt like being a senior in high school. Like, it felt like,
interesting.
you know, I finally am like, I know who I am, like what I'm doing, but I'm still 20. Like, I could still pull that and say, like, oh, I'm not 30 yet, I'm 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it felt like, you know, being old enough, but like still the world was like your oyster a little bit. Like, there's still some time left. So, yeah, I love 29. 29 was probably the best year
Yeah.
for sure. Best and worst, but like,
Yeah.
definitely like lots of stuff. Lots of good stuff.
I don't know. I feel like there were so many years that things like happened. Like the first one that came to mind is like 22, but that's also when I was still living in Richmond. Like lived right down the
Yeah.
block from Aaron, could just pop on over whenever, and then graduating still.
no, I miss those
I
times.
know.
Like, why isn't Katie right next door?
Just like you want to make some little egg muffin things, whatever. Like let's watch
Yeah.
some One
Have
Direction
our
YouTube
tea.
videos.
Wow.
Yes. And then, but still at 22, like graduating and then getting to do a few like random environmental service jobs, which were fun. So like, even though I was in college, I still like 22, I got to do other things too,
Yeah.
you know, kind of start moving on. And then I don't know, I feel like the upper 20s, buying my car, getting married, buying my house, like those are all like
Yeah.
also very positive things, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, they kind of have good things on both ends. 25 maybe was a little rough.
I think 25 was rough for me too.
Yeah. That was, what year was that? It would have been 2019-ish.
19?
So, like,
yeah, that makes sense.
I was still at Geico, probably wanting to
Yikes.
die. Like,
Yeah,
I was like
yeah.
we had an apartment, which like the apartment was fine. Like it was nice being on my own, but I feel like apartment versus like where I live now, I'm like, I definitely prefer, because I don't know, where we lived was nice. It was close to a lot of stuff, but I mean, we walked places, but I like being able to like walk to the library now.
Yeah.
Like it just feels a little bit more
Yeah.
walkable than where I was living before.
Yeah, just like a little cute like neighborhood that you guys live in
Yeah.
now versus like the apartment building. for
Yeah,
sure.
so 25 was like just like a little in between, I guess. I mean, there's always those
Intermission.
years, yeah.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I don't know.
That was a time. 25.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah, because you got married. We just
I
said that.
did, yeah. I was
yeah.
across the
Yeah.
country right before that too, like all by myself. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have a year that stands out, Erin?
Honestly, no. I was looking at I was looking at pictures the other day, and I was like, "Wow, 21 was like fun. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I saw all these pictures of me like going out in Richmond and like living life, and I was like, that was fun. But then college, so was
Yeah.
that fun?
Yeah.
22, 23, I lived in Richmond, so that was like after college, and I was just like partying and working at a restaurant
Oh,
and like
yeah.
making
Yeah.
random friends. So that was fun and chaotic, but you know, a mess. And then 24 was just, it was.
See, that's like
Like,
literally
hey,
24,
don't-
25 is like,
Yeah.
it just existed. I was
Yeah.
like a human.
Yeah. And then like the pandemic started, so then
Ugh,
that
literally.
just like was that. But
I know. I feel like we are just removing those years from this
Yeah, I don't
study.
count
I think
those.
so,
Yeah.
I would say 28 I had a pretty good year. I would say I mean 29 last year was like not a bad year. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's like the beginning and the end of the
I would-
decade for all of us, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like I don't have like a specific year that like was like, oh, I loved being 25, you know.
Right,
whatever, so.
right. If I could go back, I'd be 23 forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you hear a lot of like people, like older people say, they're like, boy, I'd give anything to be 25 again. And you're like, really?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
why?
25? Like, that's, no, I don't think so.
If anyone says 25, a red flag.
Peak.
Yeah.
They peaked.
Red flag.
Major red flag.
So funny.
Man.
It's funny. I feel like when you just saying peaked reminded me, I used to joke that I peaked in high school.
Not at
I
all.
definitely joked in that I said I peaked at elementary school.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, that's
That's-
my peak. Everything downhill from
Downhill from elementary school. Oh my gosh.
That one's rough.
So-
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. That's.
I just remember just like having a great time. And then,
Right,
and then, like,
right.
middle and high school, I was like, I was having fun, but it was like
It wasn't the same.
not as fun.
No. No, not at all.
I just feel like I was so much smarter. I mean, in
Oh, I
different-
know I was smarter
in
in
different
elementary
ways.
school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Before
in
the
different
brain
ways,
rot.
because now I know more,
Yeah.
like generally about life and whatnot. But like, we're talking like school, like history. Like I knew way
School?
more. Like I'm
Yeah.
an idiot now.
Oh, I tell my therapist that all the time. Like, I feel like I'm getting stupider. Like, I
Yeah.
don't
I
know
literally am.
what it is, but like the brain does not operate
like,
like it used to back
What
in the day.
years were the Vietnam War? Couldn't tell you, but I
No.
know for a fact my 11th grade self could do that. Like,
yeah,
come on,
For
that's
sure.
so yeah.
that one's a little niche,
bad.
probably. Well, I mean,
Vietnam
compared
War,
to like
like,
World War II.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. Even like the other last week when I told you guys about asking for freaking fortune cookie at a
Yeah.
freaking Japanese restaurant, like
Yeah,
elementary school me could easily
God.
identify.
those were separate
I
and
forgot you
different
did that. Thank you
Asian
for bringing that up
cuisines.
again.
I also
honestly.
forgot.
Oh, I haven't forgotten.
You're mortified.
It lives
I hope
with
you
me
don't.
every day. It lives with me every day.
Therapist has heard about that one.
Give my
Yeah.
repentance for that one. That's yeah, that was a rough one. But
I
the
don't know.
20s,
They were there.
20s. They were there. Yeah. What is advice then? Now that we're out of our 20s, what is like at least one piece of advice that you would have like given yourself in your 20s?
Mine, first of all, stop spending so much money. Like, save your coin. But like on little or like useless things. I was
Yeah.
talking to my roommate today, and I was like, if I had just not like gotten so deep into K-pop, or like not gotten so deep into like just boy bands in general, like I would
you
have
imagine
been a
where
wealthy
we'd be?
woman.
A different place.
Could you
for sure.
imagine?
We would truly,
If
yeah.
I could just be if I could just be a casual listener of like anything in my life, like
Honestly, I resonate with that a lot.
If I
That
could
would've
just
been
been
great.
chill, like
Yeah.
just chilled out a bit. Yeah, no.
yeah.
Then we
so-
wouldn't. This wouldn't exist.
This is true.
Unfortunately,
exactly. So
it was
give and
needed.
take, I guess.
It
But
was needed.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, if I could just save some, and now I'm like, okay, well, here we are. But
Yeah, I would probably tell myself like it's not that serious. Like I think everything in your 20s felt like it was like I have to do this, like it has to be this way, like these are the building blocks of the rest of my life. Like it is not that serious. Like you were saying, Aaron, there's so many years after like to get to like retirement age that like 10 years of like your 20s really don't like make that big of a difference. Like it's the rest of the 40 fucking years that you have until you can retire. So yeah, it's like not that serious, like ever, unless it like is serious, like life or death or something.
Yeah.
Like a serious thing.
Life is not serious.
You know, like having
Yeah,
a
yeah.
child, like that's serious. Like like
serious, but like
signing
the rest-
away like your life to buy $100,000 worth of a house loan, like that's serious. Like those are serious
Yeah.
things. But like not being able to do something, it's not that serious.
Like
Like
not getting the job you thought you would.
yeah,
or
it's
like
not
whatever.
that serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your boyfriend moving across the country while you're in college, not that serious. It was not like it was.
If it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would probably be one piece of advice. The other piece of advice, I probably would be like, don't get married, for sure. Yeah, not that I rushed into getting married, but I definitely was like super jaded into getting married.
Yeah.
Like I think I'll say you don't have to have an expensive wedding. I'll say that. I think I probably would have still gotten married to just like learn and grow and all of that, but like having an expensive wedding is just so stupid. Like hindsight is 2020. Like that was probably like the worst financial decision I've ever made in my life.
Compared to like the car or the house.
Yeah,
it's like,
compared to all
yeah.
those things, like that like wasn't worth it. Like in all honesty, like I would have rather taken that money and like gone on a trip or do something
Destination
else.
wedding.
Yeah, or just do anything else. So yeah, that's probably like the biggest thing I'd say.
I didn't prepare for this segment. So off the top of my head, I do feel like maybe like really putting a priority on keeping up with friends. Not that I feel like I didn't keep up with people, but like, I don't know, especially with COVID too, when everybody's like locked in their homes, I feel like there were people that maybe I didn't keep up with as much as I expected to, especially there were a lot of people I feel like from college that maybe I could have just, I don't know. I feel like I saw them like in my future, but now I'm 30 and I'm like, I haven't talked to them in a while, but like nothing happened necessarily, but again, I feel like COVID kind of a little bit because I just didn't talk to
Absolutely.
anybody really. I mean, I'm just sitting in my home.
And I loved it.
I mean, same
I
for
loved
sure,
it.
for sure.
like that, I thrived.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm seeing other people in my life who are like, man, I expected to be invited to this or or whatnot. And they just like didn't keep up with that person when all the rest of their friends did. And so I just that's happened, but I just feel like there are people that maybe I expected to be closer to that I'm not, which is fine.
You know what? I agree with that because I like after moving out of Richmond, I like had made so many friends there that I like moved out and then I like lost touch with them like immediately and kept up with like 3 people from the Richmond area. And I'm like, oh dang, like I had gone to like all of your weddings and then now I'm just like I haven't spoken to you in knows how long. So it's like definitely keeping up. It's tough, but
yeah.
we can,
And I know
make it
friends come
happen.
and go. That's a natural part of life. But I don't know. I do feel
But
like
not this trio right here. We're stuck.
yes. Yeah. There are definitely people who will be around for like truly. I mean, that's just like I don't know, certain experiences and certain things. But yeah, I don't know. It just got me thinking because I've been seeing that happen around me, and I'm like, you can't expect to be invited to things if you don't keep up with them. But also like, you know, if that happens to me in the future, I can't be mad because if I didn't keep
Yeah.
up with somebody,
Yeah.
It's on
it is
me.
what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So
But I
That's a
like
good
some of those
one.
other things, like the money thing and, you know, not taking things serious. Like, I mean, I feel like I didn't take too much serious. I mean, I did get married, but
was I?
but I didn't spend that much. I mean, I spent a lot of money, but on accident. Like,
Yeah.
you know how. I mean, all of a sudden you have to buy forks, and you're like, what
Yeah,
do you
what
mean?
the hell?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the accident, not like we went over budget or whatever. But I don't know. You were there. I had a good time at my wedding.
You were there.
I had fun.
So,
Scott and I talk about it all the time.
I hope so.
I was just
Our anniversary's
"Oh,
next
well."
week, actually.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yay.
And I don't know. I just feel, I mean, it was 2020, so
Yeah.
it was quiet. There was like 50 people, which is what I wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody who was there, like, good vibes. We were having fun. Like,
Yeah.
versus like,
I think it was very like you and Scott.
yeah, I felt
and it
very
was not,
close knit. I felt like
Yeah.
very supported.
Yeah.
Like, so
I think I'd do that with this Scott
yeah,
for sure. I'd
just like a little,
Yeah, I
little
think we would
powwow.
probably get like eloped and then just throw a party.
Yeah. I feel like that is the vibe
Yeah,
generally.
because it's just
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I have a friend who's planning a wedding like right now, and she's like, the more and more I deep dive into wedding planning, the more and more I'm going to elopement. And I was like,
I mean,
fair.
That's a good
So,
choice.
It is literally all that random shit that's like napkins. Why do I have like what do you mean they
and
don't
as soon
exist?
as you tell people that it's a wedding, it's
Yeah.
upcharged by like 50,000%. Like it's insane. So don't miss that.
we did a lot of stuff ourselves.
Same.
Our DJ was Scott's friend from work. Our photographers, Scott's friends from work. We did
Yeah.
pay them, but like you know,
Okay, yeah,
it was
yeah.
like not the same.
It wasn't
you know?
like-
yeah. Although
Oh,
that came
man.
in handy. Well, not really. Okay, my favorite moment. WAP was popular, like
Yeah.
at
The
the time of
dance?
my
The
wedding.
song?
The song,
Okay,
yeah. And DJ's not playing it, and I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like,
I remember Katie being like, why is it up?
yeah, we're like, everybody's dancing, we're having a great time. So
we're
I go
like,
up
"Can
to
you-
him.
can
yeah.
you?"
I was like, Josh, I need you to play WAP, and he's like, Scott told me not to. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
bride.
We're playing this song, and then we did, and guess what? Scott's parents had an amazing time. His mom has a video of us all dancing.
Yeah.
See,
So anyway, I feel like having a friend that's a DJ, like,
Yeah.
was a vibe for me. But
I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Any regrets? Anything to take back? Anything you would not have done?
Stop spending so much money. No.
Oh, right. I don't think there's anything
No.
I would do differently necessarily. I mean, there were things like I mentioned, I didn't like my job, but it taught me a lot and made me, I don't know, a semi more adjusted person probably.
I think I would have done two things differently in my 20s. One, I would have broken up with my high school boyfriend before going to college.
Okay.
Truly,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't, that was
Yeah.
so stupid. Like, that was the dumbest thing ever. And really could have changed my whole trajectory of my life. I could have been like a YouTuber.
Honestly.
Like, I feel like that goes into my second one.
Okay.
Because I was so involved with like my first boyfriend and then going into college, I didn't put any time or any effort into anything else. But I did start a YouTube channel in college, and gosh, I regret not doing
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
like there's few regrets I have in life, but hopping on the YouTube train,
The YouTube
like,
train back in early 2010s, like
yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
don't
having
think
no shame. And
I'll
just-
ever forgive myself for that. And even, I mean, me and Alex even tried to do a YouTube channel, and we did, and that got like some nice traction in like the
Yeah.
swirl community. And I'm like, you know, we could really do this.
I
like,
mean, we were like semi acquaintances at the time. Like, I feel like I was just your
Yeah.
mutual at the time, and I was like, Adia is like popular.
like
Right?
I really could have
I
taken
remember
it,
thinking that. Yeah.
taken it somewhere if I really, you know, put the
Capitalize.
time in it. And I didn't
Yeah.
know, like, I mean, you knew back then, but like, you didn't know that like it could really be something. But like,
That's true.
yeah.
yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. Like, yeah, that was. I wish I would have done that, like, actually legit, and not like just, oh, you know, it's fun or whatever.
Just like
No,
a little
just-
hobby.
yeah.
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 No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
I
that's
actually regret getting the degree I got. I
I feel like
wish I
anyway.
had gotten like a business degree or something, and then like music minor or something, because I still loved music, and like learned a lot, made so many friends, like did so many fun things because of that. But it's like, if I had gotten that, then like, where would I have been? Like, I would have been more prepared for like the music business side of things, or like that I want to go into now, instead of like just being like, okay, well, I have X amount of years of like PR and, you know, a music degree, and they're like, okay, and I'm like, bring me back.
Yeah.
So, you know, I still it's staring at me over
I know.
here. I'm
Trust.
like,
I see it every day in my office. I'm like, don't
still,
look at me.
I love my music degree, and I loved like the teachers I had, the friends I made from like VCU music, but it's still wish I could have just been like, okay, Aaron, like something else, you know? But
It's so
we
interesting
move on.
that you
we
say
can't
that.
dwell on that.
Yeah. Because I remember when I was 20, I seriously was having like an issue with like changing my major. I was biology pre-dentistry.
Damn.
Yep.
Girl.
Yep.
I wanted to be a dentist since I was a kid. Like, I literally was the tooth fairy for Halloween for like multiple years in a
Oh my
row.
gosh.
I was like there for the dentist. Now she's my biggest op.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. You're like, whoa. Tables have turned.
That is the gag. But I remember I was like seriously like crying every day thinking, because I was just like, what if I make a mistake? Like, what if I change my major? And then I'm like, what if, like, I wish I would have done that. And I am not upset that I changed it and didn't become a dentist.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it would have been
Yeah.
nice probably, but yeah, I don't regret that. So I don't know. Environmental studies, was she the next best choice? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I changed my major too.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
same.
business to sociology. And I'm like, oh, this is sick. Nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I do regret going to graduate school, though. That was a complete waste of time and money.
What did you get your grad degree in?
Business administration.
Oh, okay. Okay.
A whole MBA.
Yeah.
I've not used.
I know. I was
like,
looking.
oh, so
I have a whole MBA.
Yeah. I was looking at the MPA, the public
I
administration.
have the minor in
Oh,
that.
yeah?
Yes.
I just couldn't commit to it. I mean, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because now I'm not even in the public spectrum. I
Same.
mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I would have been. I don't know. But
I did it and
Yeah.
I'm not even there. So I'm like,
Okay.
what the hell?
True.
I
True.
like dropped that I have an MBA in an advertising world, and they're like, we don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
they
Like,
what like
Oh, man.
it's embarrassing. Like, I mean, I work with people that like
You
didn't
pay
even,
out of pocket for that bad boy? Or like.
I did.
Oh, man.
So
I was
it's a
hoping you
real
would say
big
your
waste.
job paid for it. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, certain, whatever. Yeah. Some places
Real big
do.
waste.
A win for the
pop in?
20s was starting the podcast.
Yes.
For sure.
true.
I like having a place to gab and, chat.
Yeah.
This has
and-
been the best.
And it also like helps us keep up with each other.
Mhm.
You know, makes it easier.
Yeah.
So I love that.
It's
true.
been a year.
It has. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's been a whole year.
I know.
Congrats.
Good
Ooh.
job,
Yes.
guys. Good job. To end this segment, what is one thing you hope to do in your 30s?
Okay, that was not on the docket.
It wasn't. No.
It wasn't. So give me a second.
Let me think.
Because I'm still like, when I was like, oh, like, what did my 20s hold? And before I turned 30, I was thinking about, oh, what do I want to do in my 30s? But
Yeah.
I still haven't thought of that. So
It doesn't have to be anything like profound. Like I want to cure cancer or anything. Like
Do you think anyone on this call is curing cancer? No kidding.
you're a biology major. I don't know.
We dropped that bad boy real quick when chemistry
Yeah.
came up.
so funny.
Maybe I'll keep up with more people.
Okay. See?
Maybe I'll spend
Yeah.
less money.
No.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stop spending so much. I'll save.
Actually,
And
I really
Which is
am
why,
trying
because
to
I
do
already
that.
have like 4 trips planned that I like want to go on in the future.
girly.
It'd be like that.
So.
Damn.
You know what? My thing I'm gonna do in my 30s is take more trips.
There we go.
yes. Yeah.
As
See
you
the
should.
world, live my life, and just
As you should.
not be boring. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good one.
That's good. The one thing I want to do in my 30s is just have more of like a YOLO mentality.
Okay. So
You
take
know?
in what you regret /
Yeah.
should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Advice for your former self into the future.
Mm-hmm. Not be nonchalant, but just
Right.
like just let it roll. You
Mhm.
know, like it only happens once. You know, we're only here
Yeah.
one time, so let's make it a good time. Not a long
You
time.
justifying the Portsmouth tolls.
I literally just took one to get here too. That was another $12 right out my. Every time I cross that damn thing, I hear the ka-ting like sound.
you're
Just
like-
it'll come around.
You see the flash go off. You're like,
Pretty much. You know. What are they gonna do?
Bill you later.
Literally.
YOLO.
Bill me later. Not allow me to get my registration.
Yeah.
Take my tax refund. Garnish my wages.
That's coming up. Any
That's the
day
next
now.
step. That's the next step. Yeah. Oh gosh.
YOLO.
Yeah. No.
Now we can't ask any of these questions again until we turn 40.
Exactly.
I don't want to think like this.
See you in 10
No.
years.
Yeah.
We really did like an actual sit down pod like today. Like
Yeah, for sure.
this is what podcasts are about. Like some people at least, not ours. But
Should we change
Oh,
to like a
wait,
lifestyle
our podcast
podcast?
some people do this, not us though. Every once in a while. Yeah, gosh. Well, that was great. On to more pressing and important matters.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing we will discuss today.
This is
For sure.
If
Absolutely.
you take one thing out of our podcast today, who is your it boy of the month?
Yeah.
That was me asked.
I do have an it boy of the month. I need to find his name again, but
Well, he sounds like he's not the it boy of the
no,
month.
he is. He
Yeah.
is. But
You
I
don't even know his name?
I don't know his last name.
Okay.
So I watched Gen V.
Oh, I love.
I binge
okay.
watched Gen V, and it's the guy that's schizophrenic. I think his name is Asa. I don't know his
Not ringing
last
a
name.
bell.
The guy that
Wait.
plays what is his name?
Is his?
Sam. The guy that plays Sam, Asa German with 2 N's.
Let me see him. Oh yeah.
He
Okay,
is my-
I forgot that was his name.
I-
Well, Sam is such a broad name.
I
I'm like, I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, seriously.
Like,
I had to double check because one, he's playing like a college student.
yeah.
So I was like, let me make sure this man is of age, of legal age. He's 26, which
Okay.
is still pushing it, I
Love.
feel, for me. But yeah, Sam. I was just, he's got such an interesting look.
You know, it's funny because out of everyone on that show, I was not really expecting him.
He's
So-
just got such a look to him. I don't know what it is, but I'm
He
intrigued.
almost, you know, he looks like Anton Yelkin a little bit.
Maybe that's it. He looks like
I mean,
Anton
different,
Yelkin,
but like,
mixed
but
with
kinda.
the
I
need
ant
you to just
from
send the name or
A Bug's
pic
Life.
eventually, so
Oh,
I'll
okay.
look.
he does look
I-
like the guy from from Ants or A Bug's Life. Which
Ants.
one?
I think it's Ants.
I think so too.
But that's
First of all, a movie.
Ants? Come on. Those grasshoppers? Shit.
please,
Literally.
please. Oh gosh. Okay.
I guess there's also grasshoppers in Bug's Life, but Ants
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
different
Ants.
vibe.
I'm pretty sure it was Ants because
Yeah.
it's the brow.
Yeah,
But
it was him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been mine for the month. I went into a deep dive of like his work and all the stuff he's been doing after I
Interesting.
finished Gen V, which was a great show, by the way.
Yeah. I see the thing I like about Gen V is that it's filling the void without feeling like you're missing something. And Bridgerton, get it together.
Yeah, I'm still not caught up there,
That's fine.
but
It's okay.
yeah. So his name is Asa German, and I love the name Asa too. I think that's such a cute name for a boy or a girl. But
Yeah, all I could think was Asa Butterfield, who was like in Ender's Game, but I'm like, you were not talking about that man.
no, I don't know him
For sure.
I don't
You'd
know
probably
that
rec-
man.
I don't know that.
He's in Sex Education and a few other things. You would recognize him, I think. Maybe. But
I'm good with faces.
yeah,
Actors'
but the name I
faces.
was like, that guy's not in Gen V though, and yeah, it's a different guy.
Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son being in that show.
Yeah,
I had to Google.
Patrick.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the hell?
I know,
That was.
I know.
I was blindsided.
Everyone said he was amazing.
No,
Like-
he was
like-
great,
or
but I
like-
was just shocked. I'm
well,
like,
I mean,
he
like
looks
nice,
so
like
familiar.
on set and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Arnold also has another son, a half black son, that he had with his maid.
Okay, I feel like I've heard.
If you've never looked into
Yeah.
it, it's worth looking into. He is a spinning image of him. Except he
Really?
just looks like
I
black.
feel like I remember
Yes.
that tea like coming out.
I remember the tea coming up, but I never looked
Yeah.
into like
He looks
anything
exactly
else.
like Arnold, just black. Like it is so weird. It is undeniable.
We'll
Like
deep dive into that.
Yeah.
he cannot deny that child
Now I'm intrigued.
if he wanted to. So
yeah,
So funny.
interesting. I have
let's see,
two
let's
It Boys of the Month, and
Okay.
they're kind of tied. They're both in Interview with the Vampire, so I feel like that's like they're sisters, not
Works
twins.
out.
Jacob Anderson, I love him. He plays Louis de Pointe-de-Lac. I mean,
What a name.
I've been loving him, but he also he has a music career under the name Raleigh Ritchie, so I've just been listening to his albums recently, and I've been vibing. So he's like up there, and then are you looking him up?
Yeah.
He's beautiful. He's got like 2 kids. He's married. Like it's fine. And the other one from Interview with the Vampire, and controversial, sorry to our Interview fans, it's not Sam Reed. It's Assad Zaman, who plays Armand. Every single edit on my For You page is about him. I finished Armand's book, and I'm picturing Assad. Like, he's so beautiful. He looks like a Renaissance painting. And
What's his name? Assad Surman?
Zaman, Zaman, I believe.
That's why.
He looks like a Botticelli angel, and I love him.
Wow.
And he's really nice. He was at Comic-Con and like was funny and cute
nice.
and had a good time. So
There are a lot of Assad Zamans.
interesting. I never Googled him like that to know.
Interesting.
Let me look.
Okay.
'Cause I can't find him.
No, it looks like a common name, but I'm going to go with the most attractive one, so.
You're like, that's the one.
Yeah, he did not pop up.
Yeah,
in any of those images.
That's
there.
so interesting. He came up
So-
for me, so he's here.
That's
Oh, I spelled his name wrong. There's 2
Oh,
S's. Okay.
that would be why.
All right. There you
That'll
go.
do it.
That will do it.
I love
Yeah.
him.
okay.
Anyway,
Good choice.
My It Boy of the Month is none other than German legend, German soccer player,
I knew it.
German goalie,
I knew
Manuel
it.
Neuer, who he just announced his international retirement. So I've been sobbing on the TL. Sorry to everybody, but you're welcome. He was my first German, or not even my first German crush, my first soccer crush. Like, I love that man so much. And yeah, so he's my It Boy of the Month of life, really.
So I heard you say he announced his international retirement. Does that mean he will still be playing like locally or like, or you know what I mean? Like international
plays-
versus.
Yeah. So he plays for Bayern Munich, which is in Germany, for his club team, and it's probably his last like year or two like, playing
Just in
there.
general.
But he just like obviously won't be with Germany for like the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
In 2028.
Okay.
Six.
Mm.
Yes, 6. Because the Olympics just happened, so 6.
Okay.
Dang.
Just since you
But,
made that distinction, I
yeah.
felt like it might be important.
Yeah.
I'm like, she said international. What is that? But yes. Okay.
Yeah, so
He's
he
playing
won't
like
be
a
on the
club.
national team, German national team. He's still on Bayern Munich. One of the guys who's like around his same age and started the same year, we all know him, Thomas Muller, who's my sister's fave.
Yep.
He announced his international retirement earlier, like kind of post the Euros. And then he signed until 2025 for Bayern Munich. So we don't know.
Damn.
Probably next year. This coming year is his last year. So, yeah.
Jeez.
Okay.
That's that.
Yeah. I love
Just
that.
an emotional time.
I know. I've been seeing it on the timeline. I'm like, sorry, girl.
And I it just happened, and I was expecting it, but was not expecting it. So like when he posted that, I was like, oh, I'm a mess now.
Yeah,
Because, like,
yeah.
I just relate German soccer to this man, so it's like, what am I gonna do after he leaves? Like they have other players that I love and know, but he's
not the
one,
same.
So
Yeah.
loves Knicks, anyone?
Let me get my list.
I can start since I'm already yapping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So loves, I'm on a perfume journey. I decided to myself
Yes.
that I'm going to be a perfume girl. And so I found this website. Well, my friend told me about this website that you can buy little like samples of like all these different like bougie perfumes. And they were having a 30% off sale. So it was already like $4, and then at 30% off, I was like, I'm living. So I got a bunch. They came in the mail yesterday, so I'm going to check those out, find my perfume, and live that life, because I was like, I really just want to be one of those girlies. It just elevates them, you know. And what else? I read book 4 of the Windy City series. Fantastic. It was my favorite one. I loved it. I've been trying not to text Katie every other second about this book, and I haven't. And I was like, I finished the book, and then I was done. But it was fantastic, and I finished it 2 days ago, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. And then Liz Tomford, the author, she created a playlist that like is about like goes with this book. I've been listening to it on repeat, so I know my Spotify Wrapped will be crazy.
The thing is, you told me not to read it. You were like, I need a minute. So I was like, okay, I'll read like 3 other books. And then you were like, actually, I'm done. And I was like, oh.
I was finishing book 3. You had sped through book 3.
Obviously,
and I was, like,
they were
still,
all
like,
good.
I know. I was like 50% done, and you had finished it, and we're like, and I was like, wait for me. But then,
Yeah, and then she
I
just
was like,
I
well,
wake
I'm
up
gonna
the next
start
day and
it.
she's like 80% done with book 4. I'm like, bitch.
And I was like, well, it happens.
I didn't even know
so,
we were starting. Anyway.
Yeah, start it, love it, and let me know your thoughts because it's incredible.
I got too many other
but now
books
I
on
have,
hold.
like,
But
I have like post-book depression, basically. I'm just, so that's an ick. Another ick, they canceled My Lady Jane. I have never felt so betrayed by Prime Video. I am upset. We were riding for you, and to cancel My Lady Jane like that, because even though the numbers were high, they were like, it didn't reach the audience we wanted it to reach. What does it
AKA
mean?
not enough men.
And
It
Prime
is-
has money. Like
that's the problem.
They have the money.
Exactly.
Like y'all have the money
They
to just
have the
renew this
money.
for no reason. Yeah.
Exactly. And so then I saw a discourse on like online of people being like, oh, well, they should have just done 12 episodes instead of like 1 and then like done the whole book. Cause like, why
Yeah.
did they break up the book like that? It was
Exactly.
crazy. But that's my ick, my real ick for this week.
I got a couple of loves. My one love, I've been watching a lot of TikToks on ADHD, and I'm like 90% sure that I have it. I mean, I know I do, but I'm also self-diagnosed for lots of other things. So like, I don't know.
That did cross my mind. I mean, like,
She's like,
I don't know.
So like, I acknowledge that like, okay, I'm very susceptible to like the internet like telling me that I have something, and I'm like, oh, I have that.
Yeah.
But like, I
Yeah.
love that I have access to do that. Like,
Yeah.
some people go their whole lives not being diagnosed with things, and me, I'm over-diagnosed with stuff.
diagnosed with everything.
With everything,
so-
and it just explains so much. So I do love that. I do have to say, I will probably get like an official diagnosis from my therapist just to confirm this one, because I feel like I can't really be like, oh, I totally have ADHD, and then someone's gonna be like, source.
Yeah.
So
Just because you do this one thing that this one other person does.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go to a therapist, but I do love that like I might have some answers soon.
Yeah.
So that's great. The other thing that I really love is, I know I talked about it a little bit last week, but I'm so into the Young Thug like
Yeah.
court case.
I forgot about that.
Not it making it to 2 weeks.
And there's just every time there's just like new clips that come out because I'm catching up.
It's like the way you talked about it last week and then sent us info about it, and I'm still not I'm still not
So good.
Like you sent that, and I said, okay, I'll watch that later. Never did.
No, it's just
Forgot
so
about
good.
it until just now when you brought it up.
Every day I get a new piece of like information, and I'm like, this is insane. This is great. This is
Yeah.
great. I'm just a really big fan of like true crime, and this is like live true crime. You can't beat that. And my other, like, honestly, I'm gonna make this a love. Wait, we do loves and nicks. What am I
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Likes. So at the birthday party for Scott's daughters, his ex mother-in-law came up to me to introduce myself, and she looked me like dead in the eyes, and she was like, "You got a good man. You got a good man," which is like so sweet, but
For an
also
ex-mother-in-law to
for
say
the
too.
ex-mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
also I
that's
felt
crazy.
so bad because she was like, "My daughter is just, she didn't know." I'm like, like, what am I
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to say back to that? But like, it
Wait,
was
she didn't know about you?
no, like she was saying like her daughter didn't like appreciate
the good man.
Oh,
she
yeah,
had.
the good man. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So like that was a love that like that went well. Like
Yeah.
me like meeting her and that whole thing. Yeah, that was just it was kind of like uncomfortable, but also like, oh, that's so nice that you say that. And then my ick for the week, this kind of goes into self-diagnosing, but again, I know I have it. So auditory processing disorder, which I do have, it takes me a while to process when I hear things. And I tell people at work this because like in meetings, I have to have the captions on for meetings so that like I'm fully understanding like what's going on because it takes me a second. Anyway, I've told everyone this numerous times to the point where they think it's like a joke, like an inside joke,
Oh no.
because they think that means that I can't hear.
Oh.
And it's like,
Oh.
I can hear fine. I'm not deaf. Like,
Yeah.
I can hear. It just takes me a while to process
To
it.
understand what's happening. Yeah.
So it's just this
So funny.
running joke that I can't hear now all of a sudden. So people
Oh,
will
no.
just say things and they're like, don't worry, Adia can't hear. I'm like, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh
It's just-
no.
It takes me a second
Yeah.
to like process what you said. So
Oh no.
I was like walking away from my desk today and I like said something and someone like said something to mock me how I said it. And I said, you know I can hear you, right?
Right,
Like
right.
I'm not deaf.
You're like, I'm literally not
Like
deaf,
I
but-
can hear you.
Oh my god.
So yeah, it's just a running joke now in my office that I can't hear.
The bit's gone too far.
The bit
You know,
has
it's
gone
like-
too
Yeah.
far because now I'm being targeted.
Right,
Now
exactly.
you're making fun of my disability. Okay.
Yes.
HR, hello.
If they existed, yes.
Well, yeah.
yeah. So until then, just know
Yikes.
if you work with me, I can hear
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Public service announcement. Adia can hear.
I can't hear. Thank you so
man.
much. And that's-
Iconic.
Yeah, that's
That's
mine.
that.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a long-winded.
No.
No, we needed the full context.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
My love, I have diagnoses. My hate,
It's overdone now.
people are perceiving that I have
Bullying me
diagnoses.
for-
The perception of my diagnosis is not a joke.
I was self-diagnosed for.
So
Oh my god. Okay, okay.
Gosh, okay.
I'm gonna try to keep this succinct. My first love is very niche. Again, I've been reading all the Interview with the Vampire books. I just read Armand's book 6, and I love that Anne Rice is calling Louis de Pointdulac Dusty any chance she gets. Anytime he shows up anywhere, she's like, and then Louis showed up Dusty again. It's like, what? And I just kind of love
so
it. It's
funny.
like, that's his new defining feature. Like,
I love the word dusty to
Yes.
like describe someone like you look dusty.
well, and the thing is like she means it like in multiple ways, but like also very literally. Like he lives in a shack
he's-
behind. Like he's like literally like wearing a suit from like 50 years ago, Dusty.
He's literally dusty.
I just like
Yeah.
she really leaned into it with this most recent book. She mentioned it like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, and we get it. He's Dusty.
The industrial grade polymer.
yeah. That's what it's giving, the industrial grade polymer. So I'm just like, I love your commitment to that, which I know is niche, but like it kind of gives me a chuckle every time it pops up. I'm like, all right, here we go again. My other love is that we have started to roll out the rebrand stuff and, you know,
yes.
new photos and some fun stuff. So I just love that. Like it feels so fresh, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
It does.
Even though we've been recording, but like anyway. My icks for the week, I have to second Aaron's My Lady Jane cancellation.
Yeah.
That one, it was like a
hit.
second
It
9/11.
hit hard.
It was like
Oh.
it hit hard. It
Well,
was
it's funny
rough.
because we were talking about it
In our book club
The
group
day
chat the day
before.
before,
Oh,
we're
the
like,
day before.
It's
We're
fresh.
We're like,
you
Savannah,
have
you
to
need to read the book.
Like,
Yep.
get ready. Like season 2's about to hit.
yeah.
Oof.
So the way the group chat was quiet, and then Savannah sent the text, and she just said, "I thought y'all said that they got renewed for season 2."
Not her calling y'all out.
We were like, we were just excited, but now
Yeah. It was a bad weekend because they announced it on Friday or something. So it was like, damn,
literally.
I'm really like a Saturday morning maybe. It was a rough one because I was invested. And I think I felt safe because it was Prime, you know, like versus Netflix or
Exactly.
something.
As you should, yeah.
Right,
And
exactly.
there were so many people who were like talking about it, loving it.
Yeah.
Like, and they still, first of all, Prime the second, like
It was
an
only
hour
second to
before
The Boys.
posting, they like
Yeah.
were doing it. They kept posting pictures of My Lady Jane, so
Yeah.
we thought
They're posting to
Trifling.
Twitter like our favorite ship or
like,
whatever, and it's like y'all
Sable?
canceled them an hour ago. Like, what's the?
literally.
I don't understand.
That's trifling.
So that one was rough. Another kind of niche one. Hosier's still on tour. He played NFWMB at whatever stop he was at, and I'm mad that I wasn't there. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't played it in a long time, and I'm mad I missed it. And then my last stick, which we've touched on a little bit, is that hockey season hasn't started. I need,
Bro.
that's like a fast-paced sport back in my life.
I'm
like,
sick to my stomach, bruv.
yeah,
Like,
it's just boring out here. That's the thing.
I don't know what to
honestly,
freaking
yeah.
do.
We're sitting at the baseball game, and I'm just talking about like if this was hockey right now, they'd be like hitting each other or whatever.
It'd be done. First
no,
of all,
for real. That's the key. So it's
I want hockey to be back, but then I don't. Because I owe $800
Well-
fucking dollars to the Norfolk.
it always
Admirals.
comes back to that, bro.
Always, every
No, they literally
every
posted.
pod
It was like
episode.
60 days till the season
Yeah.
starts. I'm like, please, I have 60 days to get $800.
It's like, okay, I don't understand how they were able to like just front you like,
Horrible financial decision
like
on
for
their
them
part.
to not even get like a credit card to run at a later point is like wild to me.
They have only taken $100.
That's
That's
crazy.
it. That's the only deposit.
That is insane.
And I was like, but what are like the due dates? She's like, there are none. I was like,
Yeah.
no,
They're like,
you
Not
don't
even just before
understand.
the season opens.
I
Like,
need
Yeah.
due dates, or you're not getting this
Oh
money.
my god. But
is
I will
so
probably
funny.
be getting a partial plan but I have to call for that. I'm like, I'm not trying to call them. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
crazy, yeah.
I'll see. I'll get there maybe, but I'm looking at the 9-game one. I'm like, I feel like that's doable for me. Like, and if I go to more games, great. If I don't, I got my 9. But I need it to start.
Me too.
It's just like quiet on these streets.
Oh, I forgot to say, my love actually is that Austin Matthews is now captain of the
Yeah,
Toronto
yeah.
Maple Leafs.
Love that.
That should have been
his
last
forehead.
week's.
That's okay.
But yeah,
We have no rules about time.
that's
you know?
true. Who even knows when this is going to come out?
this
you
is
know?
all
Well-
going to be coming out.
Yeah, like a month later,
Yeah.
probably. Thank you to all of our listeners for listening. Don't
Shout
forget
out
to.
to-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say shout out to all the people that commented on
Yeah.
our reveal
yes.
post. We love you all. Shout out to Bianca, who I went to high school with, and she's an avid fan.
Ooh.
Congrats on expecting a new baby.
Oh.
We'll shout you out,
These
you
are
and
very
your
specific
family.
call outs. Okay.
Yeah,
know
well,
these are very-
she supports, baby. She supports, and I love it.
Who
I-
else gets a name drop? Let's see. Okay.
yeah, we just have so many fans. It's hard to pick just one. But this week's fan of the week is Bianca. So
Could
Yay.
you imagine we start doing fan of the week?
just cycles.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just like the same 4 people. Just
Our
like-
close friend this week goes out to
Ooh.
Bianca.
that would actually be funny.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
We'll think about it.
Think about
Okay.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Anyway, thank you to all the listeners for listening. Don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe also wherever you listen to podcasts.
Also on social media.
Yes, too. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.